Hi, I'm Mr. Mike, and this is my bike. And this is a quick video about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and a little bit about who I am. I'm a 53-year-old math and science teacher from Randolph County, North Carolina. And I am going to be riding this bike across the United States this summer from Astoria, Oregon to Yorktown, Virginia, a little over 4,200 miles on the TransAm bike trail. It is a route by the American Cycling Association that a lot of people use, so hopefully I'll meet some new friends along the way. And the reason I'm doing this is, well, just to show that I can, to myself mainly, and I'm using it as a way to raise money for computers for my students. I think computers and technology in school are super duper important, and I think that with that technology we can do a lot more to individualize the learning for each student. I think it can make it a little more engaging, a little more challenging for the ones that need it, a little more remediation for those that need that. And that's a little bit about me and a little bit about my bike. Of course, you can follow this wonderful adventure at mrmikeonabike.com, where I'll post videos like this, blog posts, pictures, tons and tons of pictures, and anything else I find and think of along the way. A lot of time to think on the bike when you're by yourself. I'll show you what's in the bags, a little bit about how I plan to survive, and the overall goal coming up next. Alright, so a little bit about the bike. I have three main goals for this trip. Number one, I want to finish. Number two, I want to be able to raise enough money, of course, to get a class set of Chromebooks. And number three, I want to have fun doing it. So in order to accomplish all those goals, there are several things that have to happen. Number one, in order to make it, I have to do things that keep me safe. I have two headlights. This is the weakest of the two. The other one's charging right now, but works perfect at night. This is the one I've used to ride at night. I can see just fine. It lasts several hours. The other one is an 1100 lumen, which way brighter. The front wheel has a dyno built in that as it turns, it charges a battery here, and that can in turn be used to charge other devices at the same time, or just I have a battery fully charged when I get to the end of the ride at the end of the day. Up here I have a mount for my phone. I have a water bottle that'll have just nutrients in it, electrolytes, things like that. It's a place to put extra snacks, just a snack while I ride. And here I have paper cue sheets, just in case everything else quits working. Plus I'll have any emergency stuff up here that I need. Reflective tape everywhere that I could possibly think to put it without just wrapping the bike. Solar charger for the nicer days, which will charge devices either while I ride or at the campsite. Rear lights. I have a third light that I plan to try to mount somewhere, but right now these are the two that I use mainly. One flashing and one that can be seen from pretty much outer space. I don't know how bright it looks on the video, but I have spots in my eyes just from turning it on still, so the little guy's bright. And he's USB rechargeable, so I can make it flash or anything, and I can recharge it each day. I have 2 panniers on the back, 2 large panniers. The signatures all over them are students and teachers, mostly students that I've had throughout the years, teachers I've worked with. It's pretty cool folks, actually. We've given away scholarships in the past, my wife and I, and now that I'm in middle school, scholarships aren't really what they're worried about yet, so we're raising money for a class set of computers. Tent poles underneath, a little hard to see, but they're there. Tent cover, sleeping bag. I haven't really decided which side to put what on yet, but one of the larger panniers will be full of clothing, jerseys, a couple of my favorites. A friend of mine out of Texas has helped me out with the bike, building super strong wheels. Never had a problem out of these wheels. Steel frame, the reason I ride a steel frame, this bike, looking at it right now, this bike has, according to Strava, a little over 20,000 miles on it in 6 years. I love this bike. It fits perfect. I just can't say enough about it. I've not had any problems with it. I've got it just like I want it. Just got it back from the shop with new gears, new chains, new brakes, new cables. I mean, she is ready to go. So am I. All right, here I have a sleeping pad. I haven't used it yet, but it's wider than the one I used last year because, let's face it, I'm a big guy. I've lost 80 pounds to do this ride, but still a little bigger than most folks. I have a tool bag with plenty of spare tubes, all the tools I need, some cartridges. I have a pump, emergency spoke kit. I broke a lot of spokes as an early rider, but like I said, these new wheels are super strong, shouldn't have a problem. Suntan lotion, well, not suntan lotion, but sunscreen. This guy here, he's a new addition. Super lightweight, sit at the end of the day. Some of these guys on this ride are going to be riding 24 hours a day. I wish them the best, but I want to enjoy this trip, so I'm looking at maybe 12 max. At the end of the day, sitting on the ground, it's not as fun as it sounds. I've been using this chair for a week or 2 now, and I love it. It weighs maybe a pound. So, helmet, extra strappy cords in case I need them. Another solar rechargeable USB battery, headlamp, plenty of cables and plugs for everything. Almost everything I have, yeah, pretty much everything I have takes the same kind of cables, so just a couple extras in case. This guy here uses AA batteries, last resort for charging stuff. I always have a backup. First aid kit, gotta have that. Basically a hygiene bag, wipes, salt tablets, spork. You never know when you're going to find an ice cream shop. Some earbuds or earplugs for the loud campsites. Toothbrush, toothpaste. If you know what that is, you know why it's there. If you don't know why it's there, I'm not gonna go into detail on that one. It's a little weird. All right, headlamp. Of course, it's not everything, but it's 90% of the gear I'm going to take. Warmer jacket for the cold days. A little bit of warm weather gear for the super cold days. Gloves, long riding pants, long sleeve jerseys, that kind of thing. Some waterproof bags for putting everything in to make sure it stays nice and dry. A small stove for heating water, things like that. And I'll have some still pictures of campsites and things like that from previous rides I can throw in there to kind of show what's going on. And once again, that pretty much covers it. I'm not really big on details, so if you have any questions about anything, I'll be glad to answer it. But you know, I'm getting bored of myself now talking, so you probably are too. So So thank you, and follow me on MikeOnABike.com, MrMikeOnABike.com. Hi, my name is Michael Hatfield. I teach in rural North Carolina. Our school is in a low-income section of the county, and even though we try to do the best we can with what we have, sometimes it's just not quite enough. So I'm riding my bicycle across the United States to help raise money for a classroom set of Chromebooks that I can use to help my students and tailor lessons to better suit each student. I have to carry all my gear. I'll be camping overnight, and everything that I have are in the bags in the back. And the students have all signed the bags. They're all following me online. And you can help and support by going to pledgeit.org/Mr. Mike on a Bike. Thank you. And my name is Mike Hatfield, and I'm a middle school math and science teacher in rural North Carolina. And this summer I am riding my bike with all my gear from Astoria, Oregon, which is the starting point of the TransAm trail all the way across the United States. I'm doing this for a couple reasons, but I'm using it as a fundraiser to buy computers for my classroom. Like I said, I teach in a rural area of North Carolina, and we just don't have the resources for every student to have one-on-one with technology. And as a science and math teacher, I feel like being able to diversify the lessons based on the student needs is critical, especially at a middle school level where some students feel left behind and some can be challenged a lot more. With computer technology, I feel like that is an easy way to differentiate the lessons and allow students to grow regardless of where they start at. So a little bit about the bike, clothes, tent, sleeping bag, food, things like that are all on the bags. I've had the bags signed by all my students and teachers that I've worked with through the years. I have a spot tracker that you can track us with. It relays position to satellite and hopefully keeps us from getting lost. And I say us because even though I'm riding by myself, there are other people that ride this route constantly, and I hope to meet some of those people and learn some things along the way. And I will blog as I go through this journey. Looks like we're going to have nice weather for starting tomorrow, so I will see you then. Thank you. Well, first day, a few miles out from town. Weather's nice.
In a quarter mile, turn right.
A little chilly, but it looks like it's going to be sunny today, so I can deal with the cold weather to start, but after that I hope it stays dry at least. I'll check in every little bit, try to show as much scenery as I can, but I tend to start just riding and just forget about stopping and pictures and stuff, but I'll try to do that as I go. It's sort of like the first day of school, you know, everything's so exciting, all the emotions. You're ready to get started. Everybody's hyped up and ready to go, so it looks like it's going to be a good start. Alright, so here's the best shot I could get so far of the actual Pacific Ocean. So, close as I can get to the water, and I'm headed towards the Atlantic. So riding along the Oregon coast, the weather is beautiful. About 20-25 miles in from the start. Ride along the coast for a ways before we turn inward towards the east. But pictures just don't do it justice. It's hard to describe how awesome it is in Oregon. People are super friendly. Weather today is perfect, so headed that way. Alright, first day is in the books. 85-ish miles, not counting going off route to get food, water, stuff like that. Find a good campsite. All the gear is unpacked, tent set up, camped right by the ocean. Can't see it from where I'm standing, but certainly hear it. And today was a good day. The weather was perfect. Looking at about, like I said, about 85 miles. So I'm at Cape Lookout State Park. Today is free camping day in Oregon, so lucked out. Hoping for another good day tomorrow. Here's a shot of some of my gear. I can figure out how to turn the camera around without blocking the view. So basically charging some electronics with solar power, letting some of the clothes air out. Probably get rid of some stuff after today. That was a lot of weight to carry around. But looking forward to tomorrow and day after that and having a good ride. Good morning, 6:30, still in Oregon, day 2. I'm fixing to head out for the day. So far the weather looks nice, but it's starting to cloud up to the west. So I want to try to get in as many miles as I can today. No real goal, but the farther I can get today, the less I have to do overall. So looks like it's going to be a nice day. I had to pull over to shoot this video. There's no way I would have held the phone and tried to ride. Traffic's been like this for about the last 5 miles. A lot of RVs, a lot of people. I don't know where they're going, but they seem to be in a hurry. I'm just glad that Oregon has wide shoulders, but it's still pretty scary. There's no way I could ride on a road like this at home because our shoulders are just non-existent. But I think just a little ways up the road we get back off of this highway, back onto some back roads. Alright, 85 miles into day 2. The weather actually held out. It looks like cloudy over that way, but found this little bike path that goes right along the highway here. Man, if it was like this all the way to Virginia, that'd be nice. No traffic over here, nice and smooth. Rough day today, a lot of climbing. Going through the mountains on the coast, headed inland now, headed east. Starting off day 3, leaving Monmouth, Oregon, headed for McKenzie Bridge. It's going to be a stretch today, but the weather's supposed to be really nice. And I'd like to have a full day to try to get up McKenzie Pass, or take the alternate route if it's still closed. So starting out early, it's a little chilly. Gonna be a long day, but not as much climbing as the last 2 days, so should be a good day. A little over 100 miles today. Made it to the base of the first really big climb. This is a state park campsite I'm staying at. pretty nice actually. So I'm hoping tomorrow to make it over the big pass and down into Sisters and keep going from there. Good morning. Starting out day 4. Today is June 5th. It is my birthday. Today is beautiful outside. I got a late start because it's hard to get out of that campsite this morning. It was so cold. But it's warmed up a little bit now. Sun's out. I don't see any clouds. But today's going to be a tough day. Yesterday was 110 miles to get to this point because in just a little bit we're going to start climbing the first big climb over, hopefully over McKenzie Pass. If it's not still closed, if it is, then we have to go around, or I have to go around, and it's just as bad to go around. However, McKenzie Pass is nicer because they block traffic, car traffic, up until the middle of June due to snow and stuff like that. Town of Sisters is about 50 miles from where I started. It's about 5 miles ago. I wanted to get a little bit of soreness out of my legs before I got into a groove and did a video for today. I know it's kind of hard to see, it's a weird angle, but I'll try to do some more later today, but I really need to get to the top of this climb as quick as I can, just so that I have plenty of time, plenty of daylight left to find somewhere to camp tonight in a little bit lower elevation so that I don't quite freeze. This climb is terrible, but it's so scenic. Got another 1,000 feet to the top, and then yay, downhill. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there are switchbacks. I was there and there before I got here. Like I said, tough climb. Very scenic, weather's nice. The view almost makes it worth it. Alright, so there's a little bit of snow left up here. A lot more than last time. And it's chilly too. So I'll definitely bundle up for the downhill. I should be at the observatory in 3 or 4 miles. And then after that it's downhill into Sisters. Oh, it's been a long day. It's a hard climb for old. I know the pictures are not going to do this justice, but I am at the top of McKenzie Pass. I believe those are the Three Sisters mountains. I'm not sure. There's the observatory made out of all the volcanic rock that you see around. There's the restroom I was open would still be here. So pretty up here. A little windy. I have to bundle up for the downhill, but good day, good day. Decent birthday. Good morning. Start of day 5. It is really chilly this morning. My phone won't work with my gloves, so I'm gonna make this short so I can get my glove back on. But it's supposed to be nice weather again today. Got to thinking about my students back home. They got one more day and they're pretty much done. They'll be graduating 8th grade. Packing up this morning, all the signatures on the bags. Just thinking about different students and how they changed over the past 2 years. And checked my messages and had a text or had a Facebook message from a student who scored really well on their end of grade test. Way above the predicted score. And I think that really comes down to teaching them how to persevere and giving them work that challenges each student differently. One student may be able to do higher level math, but another student may need practice on earlier concepts. And by making sure that each student has the ability to do that, using the computers that we have, as limited as they were, I think that helped a lot. I don't have all the scores back, but he said pretty much everybody in the class was very happy with their scores, which makes me very happy. Oh man, I'm gonna miss those guys. Alright, about 50 miles into today's ride. I got a little over halfway to where I'm trying to get to. Ran across this little lake on the side of the road. The weather's nice, so I thought it'd be a good time to take a break and say hello. It's hard to remember exactly what day it is. I think it's Wednesday, but day 5 of the ride. Things are going good. I miss home a little bit. I miss the kids. They're thinking about their graduation and everything, and how hard they worked this year and how far they've come. Probably try to call into the school in a day or two to say hey, but it's really hard to get a signal out here. So basically just save up video until get a chance to hit a Wi-Fi spot and send it all at one time. So being as it's 3 hours difference in time, I'm not sure that I could catch them at school. But anyway, I am thinking about them. I'm wishing them all the best for the future and having a good time. Okay, so just made it to about 400 miles. The hostel I want to stay at is just a few miles up the road. So I figured I'd do one more update before I got there, just in case they have Wi-Fi and everything, I can upload it. It's really hard to see, and for the 1000th time, I know the camera just doesn't do the pictures justice, or the scenery justice, but it's so gorgeous today. But I'm struggling. Well, I mean, I'm just tired, really. So, but I got to remember what I'm doing it for. I really think the kids will benefit from the technology. So I'm doing this ride as a fundraiser for that. So far, we've gotten enough support for about 10% of the distance and 10% of the funds. So it's working out pretty good. Long way to go. Even after finishing, I still have more work to do after that. So it's worth it though. Thank you for all your support. Okay, so getting off to a decent start on day 6. Just climbed up, I know it's hard to see, but for the last hour, climbing through the sprinkling rain, up over the first good climb for the day. Try to make it to the base of the next good climb, because there's three little climbs in a row after Prairie City. But having to carry so much gear and water is a lot harder than I expected on these climbs, so I'm very slow. Trying so hard to stay hydrated, so I have extra of all the bottles I have. I still have extra unopened bottles in the panniers to make sure I have plenty of water, but picked up a stomach bug or something and having to make frequent stops. For those that don't know, I have a kidney that just doesn't really function due to a growth on it that we found a year or two ago. It doesn't really affect much day to day, but just trying to make sure I stay super hydrated so that I don't wear out the other kidney, and then I'm not in a good place. So looks like it's going to be a decent day. A lot of work ahead. Stayed at a nice little hostel last night with some other riders that are crossing the country going in different directions. Met another teacher who's on his summer break, but here we talked about our students and talked about school, and one of the owner of the hostel was asking about technology and why was it important, and you know, we explained that you could tailor the lessons to each student based on their needs. So student A may be behind, so he doesn't, his carrot, so to speak, needs to be where he can reach it. Student B may be ahead, and they need to be challenged, and if they're not challenged, then you get behavior problems. So to keep from having behavior problems, if you could keep them engaged and on task in something they can do, and usually if they can do it, they'll do it. It's usually if it's way too far out of their grasp, that's when they fall farther and farther behind and become behavior issues. And if you're not challenging them and you're not making them reach their full potential, then you're wasting your time. So that's why I'm doing this. Alright, getting a good start on day 7. Unfortunately, haven't gone very far yet. In the last hour and a half, I've probably only gone about 6 miles, but hopefully you can figure out why. Stayed down there somewhere last night. Beautiful, beautiful country. A little hilly. So 3 climbs like this one today. I hope to get over by noon and head down into Baker City. Grab something to eat there. Plan the next few hours. Maybe try to get into Utah or Idaho or whatever's next. Right now I can't really remember. Trying to drink as much water as I can, but still a little dehydrated this morning. Probably drank a gallon yesterday after lunch at least. And another big bottle so far this morning, but I'm not sure if my kidney's not processing it right or just the nature of the situation. But I feel okay. Just a little out of breath after that climb. Alright, just starting day 6. No, day 7, sorry. Just did a quick video of the area. Quick shot of the mountains again. It's 8:30ish here, so it's close to noon at home. So my students have either graduated or in the process of doing the ceremony for graduation from 8th grade right now. I sent them a message last night. I hope they get it this morning. But really enjoyed teaching them, and I wish them all the best. Good morning. That is the Oregon Trail Memorial outside of Baker City. This is day 8, Saturday I believe. It is very cold and raining this morning. Not hard, just hard enough to suck. But it's supposed to be nicer this afternoon I believe. It looks like it's clearing up way in the distance, so I need to get there. But climbing up this cold, rainy hill made me realize that I'm doing this for a very, very personal reason. A lot of reasons, but mainly for my students. County I teach in North Carolina, the school I teach at, 75% of these kids get either free or reduced lunch. They don't have access to technology, or a lot of times school supplies are not important to them. Just everyday life is all they know, and that's what they try to achieve as little as possible, because they don't think they can do anything else. So I'm out here to show them that they can do stuff. I've convinced some of my students that they can, and they have. They've grown quite a bit in the last 2 years, but you know, I have more students coming up, and it gets really tough when you have to buy pencils and paper and snacks and supplies, and if you want to do a project for 100 kids, just in one day it could cost $100 or $200 to get supplies for everybody for a big project. It's really tough. I really wish North Carolina cared more about education, because these kids are going to be grown-ups someday, and what are they going to do without a decent education? They're not all going to be rocket scientists, but the more you know, the more options you have. So this fundraiser to get computers for my classroom means a lot. Being able to tailor different lessons to different students easily with materials that are already presented online makes a huge difference. If a student's on a 3rd grade level, reading level, and you can get them to 4th grade, you've helped. If you put 8th grade work in front of them, they can't do it, they won't do it. It just frustrates them even more and they get farther behind. So I appreciate your support. This is just about the last day I should be in Oregon. My website is mrmikeonabike.com. All the information is there. Thank you for supporting me and following me. Hey, today is day 9. Going a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday ended up being a 0 mile day because after getting clipped by a car and going to the hospital, pretty much just after making sure everything was okay, just went back to and got a motel in Baker City and waited on a couple of other riders to join me. The weather's a lot better today. It's not raining. Thank goodness. It's a little windy, a little chilly, but it's dry, so that's a super bonus. Headed toward Hell's Canyon, about 10 miles from Richland, 30 miles outside of Baker City, so pretty good time today. A little slow, but considering everything, it's pretty good. Goal today is 85 miles to the campground just across the state border. Should be out of Oregon today. So, to the state, to the end of the road, or into the Oregon, I'll do another quick video. Made it, made it to Idaho. The bridge down there is the crossover from Oregon into Idaho. And of course, Idaho welcomes you with a climb up over the dam. So I guess it was I won't say it was a decent climb. Good morning. It's day 11. It is probably 35, 36 degrees by now. It was 30 when I left the hotel. Still in Idaho. Still cold. No clouds. It's supposed to clear up today and get a lot warmer. It'd be nice if it would hurry up. Goal today is a little ambitious, but it's terrain should allow for a good ride today. Feeling pretty good. Knees a little sore, shoulders still a little sore, but I got a hotel room last night just because it was so cold and everything I had was damp, which made it worse from bundling up and then sweating on the climbs and freezing coming down. So I'm very much looking forward to it warming up. I'll try to take more pictures today, but it's just a lot of hills and trees, and I've taking pictures of those. So if I see anything really majestic, or every so often I stop to rest, I'll just take some still shots. Okay, so about halfway through the day, stopped in the little town of Whitebird to grab some lunch, some water, get ready to head up the big climb coming up. The goal today is pretty stout. Make it over that climb, get down the other side, and find a campground. We'll be doing good. Those shiny things up there are guardrails. I sure hope that's the top of this climb, because I feel like I've been climbing for hours. It's not that steep, it's just a lot of it. I'll take a couple pictures from the top and let you see all the way to the valley. At least it's nice weather. Good morning. Day 12, I believe. About 20 miles out from where I stayed last night at behind that store. Been riding next to this river all morning. Having trouble breathing. I hope I'm not coming down with something because of the cold rain, but so far so good. It's been a warmer today, but still chilly. Hopefully it'll warm up more as the day goes. I bet that water's cold. day 13. Can't remember if I already made a video this morning or not, but I don't think I did. Camped out about 10 miles short of Lolo Pass at the lodge. Had space for camping. Got me a hamburger, some fries, good shower. But this morning was a struggle. I don't know if it's because it's still just so cold. All my clothes are still damp. Just can't seem to get warm. But luckily, the pass was only about 12-13 miles up, and at the top there was a visitor center. Free hot cocoa, free Wi-Fi. Donated $5 just because I drank like 5 cups of cocoa. So, but came down Lolo Pass, about 10 miles outside of Lolo now. A couple contacted me from Warren Showers. They're gonna host me tonight, so I have a free place to stay. I don't know how that works, so I don't know if I get laundry and food or what, but at least their house should be warm. I don't know how well you can see, but behind me there's snow still at the tops of some of the peaks. Lady at the lodge said it was unseasonably cool for this time of year, which I would agree, but I don't live here, so I don't know. But like I said, a few miles outside of Lolo, be a short day, probably 50-ish miles. I need to recuperate a little bit, rehydrate. I'm having trouble staying hydrated, but so far so good. Thank you guys for all your support. It means a lot. It means a lot to turn on the phone at a spot where I can at least get a short signal and start getting pings. Helps a lot on the rough days like today. So thanks a lot.